and gentlemen, to our next episode of Meet the Members. And we're doing it differently this week. My name is Hugh Dowse, and with me are our set of our members. Who is this long time? I miss you subtle. So let me tell you, I am so happy to have been asked to do this, because more than anything else, I'm getting to see my friends who I've missed so much.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves, starting from yes, sir.
All right, I'm Julianne Palmer, singer and actress in the group. Hi.
Okay, I am
Everybody. Alright, so my name is Rudy Tomlinson. I am a singer, actor, dancer. With the Fatherland and Friends.
And you'd have remembered Rudy from last week's episode. And wow.
Hi everyone, I am Leandre Sadler. I am singer, actor, and dancer.
Wait. You hear that, Auntie Paula? Okay. Nice.
I'm Katisha Smith. I am a singer and actress and dancer.
And DJ. Oh, you forget that, yes.
And Iniquity.
Iniquity is the name of a character. You saved and sanctified, just a thing you know.
God.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Alright, hi everybody, I'm Craig Walters, singer, actor, I don't care what nobody wants to say, I'm a dancer.
And DJ.
And DJ, the resident DJ.
Yes.
You didn't do. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, hi everyone, I'm Andre Shepherd. I'm a singer also,
Also,
and
big singer.
and a prop during.
Prop.
Thank you very much.
Okay, all right. So I think you have gotten the sense that the wonderful members of this company who look so holy and wonderful, they are holy. Praise God. They belong to a holy God. But you might think they were sensible. But in case you were of that misconception, we are going to really make sure that you are clear that they are not today. But first of all, it's been 2 years plus since we have done our last on-stage production. And that was Isaiah. So, well, Isaiah / Moses. Because there was a production of Moses in Florida in November 2019.
Yes.
And that was our last on-stage production. And just before that, we did Isaiah in Kingston at the National Arena. Wow, that is a long time for us not to have gotten together. What do you miss most? Anybody, as the spirit leads.
I miss the fellowship. I'm not gonna say I miss the long rehearsals. Where a lot of us fall asleep in the arena, but I miss the. But I miss the fellowship. I miss the camaraderie. I miss us just getting together and do what we do best, which is to minister. It is just such an awesome feeling when we get together and when we actually get it together. Because it does take us a while to get it together. You see, the perfect show on stage, but it does take us a while sometimes. But when we actually get it together and we get that message out, it is just awesome. It's magnificent, and I really do miss that.
Yes. Anyone else?
Well, what I miss about our performance is sometimes you don't really get to see the effects until sometimes you're on stage and you look up. You realize, oh, so you really look for true, like I remember what I was in Moses and that Red Sea moment, and like I just totally forget the blockings and everything. Everything happened. So they super true. And then when I tell you the writing there, because 10 commandments,
Yeah.
and Moses and the writing there. Jesus Christ, my God, Jay.
Completely out of character.
Yes, because Jesus was not yet born.
Watch it.
Completely out of character.
But then also, you look on the how blessed people are by the production.
Take your time.
Blessed people are, people really come to you afterwards and say, I was really blessed to see the production on stage, and you touch lives and you change lives and you bring people closer to God,
Yes.
Yeah.
You bring about change in people's hearts and soul, If
Yes.
somebody was trying to commit suicide and come to a Father Holland production, they are so ministered to. That's they rethink what they're about to do,
Yes.
and that is something to give thanks for,
But isn't that precious to be able to work with material that is true and transforming, and that is doing good work in terms of the outreach of the missionaries of the poor? Talk about some way in which this work would have spiritually impacted your life.
It is actually amazing how the stories in the Bible come to life through the performances. Is it just me, or is it, or do others of you get to know more about the Bible through the shows, through the performances that we do? And sometimes I'm like, that's
That is
really
very
yeah, man, and you learn so much, and then when you realize that you can relate and you know the scriptures simply through this, just doing the shows, and then we do a lot of praying. We do so much praying in all of our fellowship. That is always one of the central things for us, where we have to get together and we have to pray, and that really helps to keep us centered, and it helps to keep us close to God, so we don't lose that focus. So it really does help.
Is there a character that anyone had to play that impacted you personally, emotionally, that you had to grapple with as you created the portrayal of that character, that you might even feel like you felt intimidated by that character? Just feel free to talk.
I think Andrew want to say something. Just come on, speak it, my brother.
Bless God.
Well, to be honest, I think every character that I've been able to portray inspired me in some way. But most importantly, the foundation was always laid throughout the rehearsals, interactions. I have to big up Winton Williams, because that man teaches some valuable lessons that helps to mold you. Because I can speak for myself. All my experiences have set me up to do well. When I say do well, I mean being able to appreciate life, appreciate people, and most importantly, trust in God. And another funny story, almost every character forces me to be a better person, because I don't want to tell a lie. So the characters force me to be true, and in being true, I have to ensure that, boy, I have to empty my vessel and fill it with the right level of spirituality and connection to bring that across. Because even now in my life, I do music extensively, but I will not be extensive in the music I do, based on the foundation that has been laid. But some things are just
not a part of the
not
domain.
a part of my domain.
Yes.
So I give thanks for that.
And that's transformational. Before we go to you, Jody, because spirit
See,
tell me.
see.
Yeah, worship, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, and spirit I work on our letter. We feel it, But you said something a while ago that is so crucial, because we have always known that there are no small parts. So every character, even if it is High Jacinth, citizen number 437. that whoever it is, that person's story is a real full story. And that idea of emptying yourself so that you can embody and portray with truth.
Yes.
Powerful. Powerful. Jody.
Okay. Alright. Alright, a character that I can reference that took a lot out of me to portray was Isaiah's wife when she lost her child. I had to pull on my own grief, having lost a mother. You know, I should say my mom clearly. And that brought me to a place of vulnerability to be able to connect with what a mother would probably experience, the loss of a child. You know, so that was very full to the character. You know, so having to let go of those inhibitions and become vulnerable in that moment was challenging, but I welcomed the challenge.
I also want to thank you for choosing to be vulnerable in that way for the sake of the greater message.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Leandre, you have had an experience of grappling with a character.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
Well, 2019, Isaiah. I was 18. 18.
No, 15.
I was 18, I believe, and was asked to do the role Isaiah. So just imagine me as an 18-year-old asked him to play the role
Of
Isaiah.
Winton.
You know, Uncle Winton's role, Jesus on peace. You know, and as a little youth, you know, 13, 12. When did I join you? 2013. Seeing Uncle Winton doing all those big roles, and well, fun fact, I normally played his younger character. So, you know,
So you grew up now.
I've grown up to, you know, I've shown my talent, I guess, and they believed in me, and I was a bit worried that I didn't believe in myself to do that character, because I thought it was a bigger role than I was. Because as a matter of fact, that year they asked us, they said that we could choose what role we wanted to be, and I went for King Ahaz, which would have been the
evil king.
Yeah, yes. And they asked me to do Isaiah, and that same night I went home and spoke to my mom. I was like, Mom, you're going to try me out for Isaiah. What? Isaiah? I say, yes, Mom. She say, you know, you have to go pick up your Bible. No. I said, Mom, we are talking about Bible and them. Andrew, you know, you have to go pick up your Bible.
Yeah.
And of course I did. And, you know, throughout that process, I had a lot of persons talking to me, you know, trying to help me. And I have to thank them. Everything. Uncle Hugh, I have to big up Uncle Hugh, for sure. Uncle Winton, Uncle Greg, Auntie Paula, Auntie Jody, everybody, Auntie Carol, Uncle Clayton. Just expressing myself, you know, and it wasn't I didn't have any talking to do. It was just pure singing talent. So I also had to, you know, be able to portray it in a way that everyone could feel it and, you know, feel that emotion, especially that part when my daughter died, our daughter. In the show.
Don't worry, movie on that
In the show. They killed her. That's the name of the song?
Yeah.
They killed her, yes. That was a tough song to sing.
Yeah.
It was. I had to dig deep and show a lot of emotions that I didn't know that I could show on stage. it was a lot, but I am grateful for the experience, and I think I killed it.
You did a great job.
Yes.
You did a great job. And I have to single out that portrayal that he would have had to do in front of the schools, especially his own school.
Yes.
Yeah.
That day we said, what? If you ever went to a boys' school, you know, sir, the worst audience on earth is your own school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
There's a KC call going on. St. George's. It's blue and white call now. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, just to say that we are socially distant, we are observing COVID protocols.
Absolutely.
So for all the people who are using a tape measure at home, yeah. So, moving on.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. For me, years ago, I know Rudolph and Andre would remember.
Katisa was there too.
No, Katisa didn't.
I didn't
She
do
did the show.
Yeah, she didn't do the show.
Yeah.
You know. In 2002, we did a show called Amazing Grace, and that was my first production. And I don't know, Father always seems to cast me as a villain. I don't know why.
I can't relate to you. I can't relate. That is why give me with
You know, so I did a character M16. I did Ahaz. But in Amazing Grace, I played a character called Shadow, who was a bad person, somebody who was a bad influence on you know, the members and stuff like that. And it was my first show, and I've never played a character like that before. It was you know, I was used to playing, you know, good characters. Katisa is I'm sure. You know, I've never played a bad character before. I've never played a villain role before. So it was very difficult for me at the time. Carl Williams, you know, Carl was playing along. He was playing the alternate for me with Shadow. And truth be told, I really had to dig deep. It was something that was really a challenge for me. And I really had to kind of liaison with Carl because of his experience. Him being so experienced in theater and stuff like that. And really, for big up Carl Williams, he really taught me a lot in that production. And the importance of the role of Shadow was that it was very important for me to show our projector on stage that negative, you know, in a sense, because for the audience to really see that good really overcomes evil. You understand? And I really had to really dig deep and try and get that right. Off memory, I remember even there was a scene where I even did some raping thing and stuff like that.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Kamisha.
I remember.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was a very challenging road for me, and as I said, with the aid of Carl, and also our director at the time, Mr. Alvin Bullitt.
Yes.
Man,
Yes.
Mr. Bullitt, big up yourself, Mr. Bullitt.
Yes.
You know, Alvin really took us through
Yes.
scene by scene, blocking by blocking, and really had us, you know, make sure we got it right. And I think that production, you know, was one of our best productions. Grace Jarvis, big up yourself, Grace Jarvis. You know what I mean? And of course, Winter, Rudy, well, half pint. And Andre, Christopher, yeah, and of course Sakina was there too, and it was a wonderful production.
You made a very important point a while ago, which another one of our a mentor director to me, and several of them have been, but Greg Thames. Greg Thames always says that if you are not portraying evil as evil enough, the good can't shine enough. And so you're dead on. You know, it's very important. For us to see how holy Christ is on stage. Satan has to be diabolical.
You have to play a character of a villain. It's not as easy as you know. I mean, you have to really dig deep into it.
I can testify.
You know, you have to dig deep, man.
Almost the villain there too.
Yeah.
I've never been a villain.
Your iniquity.
Yeah, but you repent on stage.
I repent on stage.
Yes.
Even as Miriam. Repented on stage.
Yes. And very big point. I mean, the villains. I can relate to that kind of. I feel away many times. When I get past it, like fear.
But it's because you're
Saul.
so very
No,
well.
for me, I mean, I after the initial initiation of Shadow, you know, I really took it on to me to say, boy, I kind of like playing villain roles because for me, it takes me out of
your regular set. Yes, exactly. It's just like, oh, this is what it feels like to be evil.
This is what it feels like to be Katisa. You understand?
So guys, in case you don't know where you are, you would have to be under a rock to not know. You're listening to a special episode of Meet the Members, Father Holong and Friends, and we are having this panel discussion to really walk down memory lane and let you know what you have been missing is what we have been missing, and to pray that we can pull it together. I want to touch on two topics now. Some of us here have literally grown up in the group. I mean, you started as a child, you are younger than 10, and you have moved through and just always look like a child. And can I tell you, the role of Isaiah's daughter has been played by Katisha for about what, 20 years?
Long time.
I'm telling you, because as you can see, she is so youthful. I will soon tell you what the producers muffin right now. Thank you, producer. And she also played Boy Jesus. I didn't know this. Boy Jesus.
I've been here for a while. I didn't come in at 10, but I've been here for a while.
So played Boy Jesus.
I played a lot.
She played every role.
I'm versatile.
You are taught rules.
But I did say I wanted to play Isaiah.
Okay, there you go. So that's one for the books.
There you go.
But what has growing up in the group been like for those of you? You started when you were
when I was
in
14.
high school.
How old are you then?
I was 13.
That means I'm at 12.
Yeah.
Also, you never remember how old you are.
Yeah, because Andre they are 13 then. With Amazing Grace, I was probably 12. No, I'm saying 14. 14.
So you started before he.
Yeah, man. He started.
Okay. What was the experience like growing up and then as a child your voices would have been different when you started than now.
Angelic then.
Right.
Well, the experience was great, to be honest with you. I guess all the females showed me a lot of love.
Motherly love.
Yes.
They felt that my voice was angelic, which mirrored my actions as well.
Praise God. A holy child of God.
Yes. But the experience has definitely been wonderful. I can't complain at all.
Yes.
21 years.
Yes.
Great years.
Yes. And it don't look like you reached 21 yet. Eh? I tell you. What about you? How was it?
Alright. So, the experience for me was a good experience. I think it paved the way in terms of how I am today.
Yes.
Who I am today.
Yes.
I started when I was 13, 14 years old. And this was my first exposure to theatre in that way. My first exposure to theatre in that way, in terms of the production, in terms of channeling a character, knowing different formalities of stage, production, presence, costume, lighting, all of these things. So the experience for me was good. I'm always playing the villain roles as well, most of the time. And I think that has, I don't know, somehow, Because because even in a film I did recently called Chill, I mean I was a villain as well.
Wow.
And we don't know.
No,
It's like a trend.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we really want to play the
good guy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
people are looking at me and say no.
Yes.
No,
No,
we just
yeah.
have a but I think the experience for me, as a child growing up, I think it has led me into going into theatre, social work. You know, because we know that fatherhood it's not just about the whole performance, but the ministry of interacting with persons in the homes, missionaries of the poor, you know, and that is very important. So I think that has steered me into going into that field of, you know, social work, helping persons, you know, leading them to behavior change and all of that. And I think what I've coined and used a lot of times is the infusion of theatre into behavior change, and that is important. So I think that is where coming up from I was a child performer to who I am today, you know, and where I'm going, you know, as a minister, as a performer and stuff like that. So I think, you know,
If I may add,
Yes.
I once lived on the compound with the brothers. Because my community was very interesting at the time. They had some interesting instruments
Yes.
that didn't play music.
But they made sound.
They made sounds.
Yeah.
So the proposal was for me to stay at the guest house at the time, which I did. I'm happy I did that. So it provided a safe haven for me. I walked to school every day. I ended up getting lunch more than I could eat at the time. So I enjoyed that. I had to wake up 5 a.m. every morning to join the brothers in prayer. And every weekend I had to go by the centers. And at first I was a bit reluctant, but then it became a part of me. And it stuck with me throughout life. So some wonderful foundation experience.
The impact is immense, and I want to zone in on the idea of a ministry that is concerned for us and our well-being. Father Holong would always seem to have a sense of what's going on in your life, and if he doesn't see you, even if he's serious, Huey, I'm not seeing you. Oh, what's happening? How are you? You get that genuine concern. But you also mentioned, as you did, the idea of the social work. And I don't think Jamaica understands how immense the work of this indigenous order founded by a Jamaican priest, now an institute of pontifical right under the Vatican in Rome, because of its impact and its importance. How much the work of the missionaries of the poor has changed this country. And I want to ask us to talk about the centers, about what our experience of going into the homes and working with the residents, what that experience has been like. And just to talk about the impact of what the brothers are doing, some of the things that people don't know.
Well, if I should start, going at the centers for me was, it was heart-rendering. I felt really sad to really experience some of the things that I saw happening there at the time. I cried at a point. Sometimes I couldn't even deal with just looking, at some of the persons that are there and some of the things that the brothers have to go through. I remember visiting one of the centers. I saw a gentleman. He died, and the brothers were there, and I was visiting at a young age, and to experience all of this was sad for me. and I was angry at the same time, to be honest, because, you know, I question myself, say, how could people just leave their mother like that? How could people leave their child like that, just like that here? Because when the brothers express that sometimes, you know, they just hear a knock at the gate, and when they look at a child that, right, so, you know, I felt really angry, and I think looking at those experiences has caused me to really go into the field that I am today, which is studying social work and doing social work, you know, the helping process and all of that. Looking in the environment, the community, because I think those things sometimes impact how persons behave. You know, you have to really dig deep and look deep into the behavior change process.
Yes.
You know, what contributes to the factor of how a person behave, you know. So coming from those experiences that I had in visiting the homes, I think, you know, I would want to implement some change in our society where that is concerned. You know, because I think some of the things that, you know, that you see happening today, it can be handled differently. You know, we can put different things in place, because mental health is something that is important, which, you know, you experience at the center.
Yes.
You know, I don't think our society look, we don't take mental health seriously. You know, but as a child coming up in the company, in the ministry, experiencing the centers was heart-rendering, and I think that has steered me to be who I am today in the helping process.
Yes.
Yeah.
We look forward to when COVID is you know, controlled in a way that we can go back to the centers, because, you know, now they have to be closed off
Yes.
to protect the residents.
Residents, right.
What Craig, you were going to say?
Well, I mean, I have to let it be known that the work that the brothers do at the centers is really is an amazing thing, truly amazing. I mean, as singers and performers, we all have had our time going down to the centers and you know experiencing that, looking after them, and man, it's really, you know, my heart goes out to see, you know, the condition sometimes and the state that these people are in. I know the brothers really do a lot of work to try and take care of them.
Yes.
And truth be told, you know, whenever we visit these homes and we do our work and we help with the cleaning and cleaning them up and stuff like that, you know, it is the least that I can do. You know, if I can go on a stage and I can give up my talent to try and help to raise funds, to feed these people, to clothe these people, I mean, it is, I mean, all of us, I'm sure, are in agreement to say that.
Yes.
I mean, we can
Yes.
all, if we can just play our part,
Yes.
and if us doing these productions, doing some concerts and stuff like that, I mean, it's really the least that we can do.
Yes.
And I really have to big up the brothers,
Yes.
big up, you know, Father Hular and friends and the group overall for their efforts in trying to play our part,
Yes.
to try and raise funds for these poor people.
Yes. And thank you again for that that focus, because right now it's very difficult for the missionaries of the poor, because, as you know, the ability to give generally
Yeah.
has been reduced because of the COVID challenge. And the fact that we can't do the shows
Right.
means that the contributions that you would have been able to make through attending the shows and engaging the ministry for the last 2 years, that opportunity has gone. So I want to encourage you, and you will get information at the end of this video, which will tell you how you can reach out to the missionaries of the poor and support their ministry with your giving. I know many persons would even buy tickets without coming to the show,
Yeah.
because they just want to support the work. And that's the nature of Jamaican people. They love to support people who are doing for the poor. So thank you for that focus. And yes, that's what we do. We tithe our talent by in this ministry and giving to the Lord.
There's one.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, there's one thing that you all would notice. There is always such a joy. My first impression or my first reaction was similar to everyone's, but I joined right out of high school. and or
Which
while
high
I
school?
was in high
Which
school.
high school?
While I was in high school, the Holy Childhood High School. That's my alma mater. So I joined right PBS Carol Hitler now.
Oh,
Yes, and we are all Holy Childhood ladies.
Oh, brother,
I joined while I was in high school, and that was my first impression. But we visited the homes regularly, and there was one thing that just stood out to me: the genuine happiness and the joy of these residents. They were just so happy and full of life whenever you went around. The missionaries of the poor just provided a home for them, they provided a family for them, they all just became one big family. So there was just always this joy. So you couldn't help just tapping into that joy. And regardless of whatever state they are in or stage in terms of their illnesses, their surroundings were clean, they were well taken care of, and they were just full of life. So you just sang with them, and you're taking care of them, and you're talking to them, those who could talk, and you're laughing to them. Those who can't talk, they just want. It's just that thing about them that just always stood out to me. That joy.
The joy. It's true.
What
It's
it's
true.
always
It's infectious.
filled
When you
with.
go
Yes,
there,
man. Oh my
even if at
goodness.
first you feel a little,
You feel like
Yes.
you know,
God.
because your brother's school, St. George's, you know, we have to go to as a part of ministry. Don't hate.
No,
We have to go as part of ministry, and yes, it would be always at first, you know, you have to do it because those are requirements.
Yes.
And then when you go,
Oh my goodness.
it just changed how you
Yes,
see
man.
humanity. So thanks for that. So as you talk about joy, let's talk about some of the things that would have given us great joy in our rehearsals or in some of our shows. You know, these, costume fails that may have happened, or something that may have happened. Or I wanted to share an interesting moment on stage that you will never forget. I mean, yeah, something funny that really happened, even if it wasn't funny when it happened.
Okay. The very, 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 very first Moses, when it was Aaron, Caleb, and Joshua.
Yeah.
Remember that ice escapade that we had on stage?
Boy.
It was
Are you sure you want us
myself-
to tell people? Okay, yes, go ahead, please
It
tell
was
them.
myself, Sakina there, and Camille
Leslie.
Impression.
And
It was Aaron,
it was Aaron, Caleb, and Joshua with the three girls.
Yeah, with
Right, because the love scene.
It was the love scene.
Yes, I
And
remember.
Camille and Sakina. Sakina there, yes, you say one.
Yes.
And we got ice because we were singing to the men at one point, and we got ice. And I remember I put my ice cube at the back of Craig's neck. And Craig was just looking up at me, and I was smiling into him. And Sakina did the same thing. I think that was so Siobhan. Siobhan. Choir? Yes.
Yes, choir, yes.
And Camille, however, Camille was not so lucky because
It was
before Camille could get to
was
put
with
her
Leroy.
eyes, it was with Leroy. Leroy realized what was happening, and Leroy grabbed her hand with the ice cube in it. And she was dying. We couldn't do anything to help her, but he caught on. So that was
It was funny
it was a funny scene.
you put the ice right, so it's like you feel you're cold and you have to be in
And you have to get character.
And you have to look
That time your voice had trembled and a trail, man.
It was beautiful.
that was
It was beautiful for you.
For you, yeah.
Camille didn't fare so well, but
Can you hear the kinds of things that the children
yeah,
of God get up
we have fun
to?
on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah, we
have
do, we do.
fun on stage. We do.
Sakina did a similar thing to me in 2002.
Yeah.
Amazing Grace. Where Christopher is.
It's there, yeah, it's good, yeah.
And you should just lie there while the singing is taking place. And she was tickling me the whole time.
Yes.
While I'm
Yeah,
supposed to be.
right.
My
Really?
face I was facing the audience like this, trying to contain myself. I was one of the roughest experiences.
Sakina.
She was Sakina singing during where she was
No,
singing?
she was crying over.
Okay, and then tickling you.
At the same time.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
And
goodness.
she was laugh crying.
Of course. We know that way.
No, Sakina.
Oh boy.
I remember, when was it? David? No, yeah, David and Goliath. Yeah, I was playing David, and who was it? Uncle
Alan
Uncle
Lewis.
Uncle Alan
Was Goliath.
was Goliath. So he was on some
Stilts.
Yeah, some stilts. And before we fight, we have a dialogue before. So, you know, oh, you little one, blah, blah, blah. I know, yes, I'm little, but I can do this, blah, blah, blah. And I was doing my dialogue, and I'm going to say, Uncle Alan, like him a tumble over. And I say, I want to go, but when I reach to say it, I just see him to man and say, alright, okay, so I just start. I'm just let it go and see him drop and say, and everybody, when I look upstairs, everybody's dying with laughter. But because we see it, so it's not that obvious to the audience, but that was hilarious.
Yeah,
I was young and I was like,
What is happening?
But you were his brother.
yeah, I had to
Because you realize
because I just had
that
to
you
cut
have
it
to
short.
correct.
I was like, okay. Because if can't get job, I'm gonna throw it up now.
Yeah, exactly. Because what would you do after that now? You fall, let's say,
Fall already.
put the power of the Lord.
I remember in Moses,
Yes.
the second run of it,
Yes.
Katisha and I, you know, I you know, see,
Katisha, why your name
Yeah,
keeps
but
coming as a
Katisha,
recurring
sir.
testimony now?
I play the character of Aaron, and Katisha is Miriam.
Yes.
So we open the show,
Yes.
you know, and right, and we have dialogue,
Yes.
you know, and majority of the times, you know, those dialogues are all over the place because sometimes Katisha will have something to say and she will have her line and I'm in character and I'm saying, all right, I'm waiting on Katisha's line. And Katisha says, pure foolishness. So I have to know in character and I have to, yes, all right. You know, sometimes I have to try it out, say, and then sometimes he said the foolishness, but we have to kind of maintain,
Yes.
the body of it kind of have to sound like it makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yes.
And then we kind of catch on and stuff. But for us, at the start of this, Moses, especially, I remember one time we did it in Charlotte.
Yes.
And I said, Jesus, man, I tell you, the second half, we started the second half. And I don't know, we started off good, you know, the line was nice.
I don't know what.
And I don't know what happened, the line just deviated. And we just have to just try and play it off. Fortunately, of course, we always end up getting it right.
At the end,
but
yes.
between us, we always know that, boy, yo,
Work it.
we messed up the lines.
Yes.
And we have to try and get it right and stuff
Yes.
like that. So for us, I mean, it really was really comical for us playing these characters.
What you're hearing, ladies and gentlemen, is a stagecraft at work.
Yes.
Because you can't let the audience
No,
and you would never know that
Never.
beneath all that is happening. I see Jody nodding. I want to hear from you, Jody, some of the experiences that you would have had that would have, you know, made you say, wow, that really happened, and that we have kept away from the audience.
Well, when we were at Boulevard Baptist Church, we did, I played Mary.
Yes.
It's my first time playing Mary. So me never really know how this pregnant belly thing work. And let me tell you, that belly, them use the Velcro.
Don't give away all the secrets.
I'm
But
sorry.
the-
But you know, it
Yes.
was secured.
Yes.
It was so secure that when it was time for me to give birth, Right?
You're going to labor.
yes, it never come out. So you know, we had to like try to find some way. So I ended up just having to hold the belly. Like, you know, it was the baby.
Oh,
It never
God.
come out.
So once again, you know,
Stagecraft again, because illusion must be created
Right.
for the story to be told.
Right.
Yes,
I
Andre.
don't know if you'd call this one stagecraft, but some years ago, we went to Miami Gardens, and this gentleman came to Father Brian and said, I have this brand new equipment, top of the line. And Father Brian said, okay, pull on that one, let's use that one. So, show is supposed to start now. Mic can't turn on. Nothing was working. So that cost the previous engineer, who was like halfway away after the show, but the gentleman came and said, guys, I'm sorry, I just got the equipment. It's my first time setting up.
Oh my word.
And that was stage fright.
Wow.
That was funny.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't one at a time.
Yeah, something we can only laugh about. In hindsight.
Absolutely.
And we can't even say hindsight is 2020 again because that's not a talk again.
And the first song was Listen Mary, Listen Nothing,
Yes.
but he was playing like 10 times faster.
So it
Oh
was-
my
There's
word.
some chipmunks. Like Alvin.
I've been on the chipmunks. We're guest stars of that show. No man. So I have to tell you about this one. It was when I was playing. When I play Pharaoh, it's always very interesting. Yeah, Moses. I will talk about one of our foreign shows. So Pharaoh has a litter that they lift him on, and 4 strong men are supposed to carry Pharaoh. Well, I'll just say that it was a very interesting set of cast members who one of our overseas shows were brought out as the strong men. Because I looked at it and said, oh, they're going to carry me.
Yeah, I remember that show.
All right. Hello to our dear friends in Florida. Big up to those strugglers because they prevailed. But let me tell you, in the end, but I had 2 other things with that thing. So I had a set. Yeah. But
When you see them, the men come on, you know.
4 men.
it was like I didn't laugh.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
very diplomatic.
Yeah,
I
you know.
kind of said afterwards to some people, I said,
We were very concerned.
Yeah, we were.
I was in that strong men. But the power of the Lord is great.
Amen.
Amen. Because as you will see, I am quite some weight to carry. But there was this in Kingston now when there was always somebody who would be taking up the scepter backstage,
Yes.
especially when I'm changing out to go into the make way for Pharaoh thing that is supposed to now come through those doors. I remember those doors open that the whole arena can see right to where I am. And I am up, and I need that scepter because I use it in the scene. And I'm there backstage. Anybody see my scepter? Anybody? And I'm running up and down, and backstage at the arena is like a city. It's huge. And it's dark. And you only see this person run up, where's my scepter? Who took up my scepter? And I'm speaking with a Pharaoh voice because I'm in character. Who took up my scepter? Where's my scepter? And I run up and down, and then I see it lying down in some little corner and some bench. And I say, all right, sit here. And there's a cue that I'm listening out for. The end of one of the Moses songs.
Yeah.
And if I'm not there, that's the blessing of Moses. And if I'm not there in time,
Yeah.
what is it?
The scene.
So all you saw, you heard, make way for Pharaoh. And the doors are opening and you just see me skating. Onto the chair just in time.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's been so much fun reminiscing with you guys.
Yeah.
So it's been a joy and it gives me hope. I hope it's giving all of us and all of us, the members, the fans of the production, some hope that we will be back on stage. We are actually working on a project now that is meant to still engage you, and you'll hear more about that project as time goes on. But I want to do some bigging up right now. You heard me mention some of our directors already. I want to big up also Auntie Paula Shaw.
Yeah.
Auntie Paula Shaw, patron saint of choreography.
Absolutely.
She can make you dance. That's why you hear them proclaiming, I'm a dancer. Because let's hear what happens before they encounter Auntie Paula if they were a dancer. Clayton Gidden
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clayton is immense. He is remarkable.
Very talented.
He does costumes.
Yeah.
He and Greg Thames would
And
have
choreography as well.
right, and he's a
Fitness
choreographer,
coach.
fitness coach, miserable man, soldier coach, children's coach, food and beverage,
Food and beverage.
everything. Clayton, big up yourself. And when you start calling names, you get in trouble. But you have to call the name of Auntie PJ, you have to call Robin Baston, you have to call Sharon Mays, and people like Ryan Essen and Nadia Roxborough. And the whole team, and of course Auntie Jody, who is behind the scenes, who's gonna mention her name, Auntie Carol, Uncle Leighton, who work with the juniors, Mimi, you, everybody here, who is you know, and as we heard before, I'll say again, Wynton Williams, a real national treasure.
Absolutely.
Under celebrated, him don't want to be celebrated, but
Absolutely.
under celebrated for the immense giftings that God has given him. And we pray and bless God for the ministry of Father Richard Ryan Hollow, who without his vision, his love for this nation and God's people everywhere, missionaries are in 11 countries now in their mission, and they need the support. But he has been a tower of strength. I would pray for the present leadership of the ministry, His Grace, who is now heading the ministry here, and the entire team of MOP. We give God thanks for you and for your work, and we give God immense thanks for all that he has done to be able to bring us together as friends, as co-workers with his ministers here at MOP, and as joint heirs with Jesus. And we give God praise and glory for the joy that we can experience doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to help me to thank our guests this afternoon. Andre Shepard, Craig Walters, Katisha Smith, Leandre Sadler, Rudy Tomlinson, and Jody Palmer for sharing with us today. My name is Hugh Dowse. Listen and watch out for us next week for the next episode of Father Holong and Friends. My producer is telling me something and I don't know what she's saying. Oh, share, like, and subscribe. Please let people know that we are here. We don't go nowhere. And you soon see we again. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Take care. Walk good.
All right.
Yeah, man. Clap. See the audience. Clap.
May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you. May the Lord bless you and be gracious to you. May his countenance shine on you. May his guidance, protection be with you. May he lead you on the way. May he grant you his ever